Hello, my beautiful and radiant Leo souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, your sacred space for illuminating the magnificent truth of your spirit. I am your guide, and if you have found your way to this very message at this very moment, I want you to know, with all the certainty of the sun that rises each dawn, that this is not by chance. Pause with me for just a moment. Before we journey further into the heart of this powerful revelation, I invite you to find a quiet space. Take a deep, intentional breath in, feeling the golden light of the universe fill your lungs, stoking the royal fire within your heart. And then exhale, slowly releasing everything that has made you feel small, unseen, or unappreciated. Let your shoulders, which have carried the weight of so much performance, finally relax. Let your magnificent heart, that generous and brilliant sun, open to receive a truth it has been waiting for. Because the cosmos, in its infinite wisdom, has arranged this divine appointment between your soul and the words that are about to be spoken. A shocking piece of news, a sudden revelation, is about to change everything. Leo, you were born to shine. Your very essence is one of warmth, of radiance, of a generous light that seeks to uplift and inspire. But perhaps lately, you have felt a subtle chill in your own kingdom. You've sensed a shift in the audience, a quiet tension behind a compliment, a stare that lingers just a moment too long. You've felt the energy of a room not quite matching the words being spoken, as if you're watching a play where one of the actors has forgotten their lines, but is trying desperately to pretend they haven't. If this feeling resonates deep within your spirit, then you are precisely where you are meant to be. This message was sent for you. If your soul is stirring in recognition, if your heart is whispering, "Yes, I have felt this. I want you to do something sacred for me right now," make a pact with your own sovereignty. In the comments below, I want you to declare your readiness to the universe by typing, "I am ready to reign in my truth." Consider this more than just a comment. See it as a royal decree, an energetic seal upon your intention. And if you have not yet joined our Circle of Light, press that subscribe button now. Do it not as a simple click, but as an act of choosing to walk this path of awakening with us, here at Cosmic Wisdom. Let's begin this transformative journey together, shall we? There are moments in the life of every radiant Leo soul when your inner knowing, your royal intuition, doesn't just whisper, it roars. And as we step into this potent corridor of time between November the 1st and 3rd, that inner voice is no longer a suggestion you can politely ignore. It is becoming a guiding force, a divine compass, insisting that you pay attention, for something upon your sacred stage is not as it appears. You may not have tangible proof or a list of facts, but you feel it. You feel it in the hollow echo of a friend's praise, in the sudden shift of someone's gaze, when you share a victory, in the strange and heavy silence that falls in conversations that once flowed with the effortless warmth of sunshine. This, my dear Leo, is the activation of your energetic radar, a sacred gift bestowed upon the rulers of the heart. This is not paranoia, it is profound awareness. It is your soul's divine early warning system, alerting you that a performance is taking place in your presence and the actor's mask is about to slip. The planetary alignment unfolding above us is a catalyst for this grand revealing. We have Mercury, the divine messenger, in a tense square with Uranus, the great awakener. This cosmic configuration does not ask for permission to shake the truth loose. It simply demands revelation. Mercury's job is to communicate, and Uranus's job is to shatter illusions with a sudden flash of lightning. It does not care how long a lie has been in place. It does not consider how comfortable the illusion has been. Its only concern is authenticity and alignment. And when these powerful energies touch your chart, especially in the realm of your close relationships, your creative expression, and your royal court, you are being asked not to cling to the script, but to see the truth behind the curtain. You are not being invited to judge others, but to honor your own clarity. In your recent interactions, have you noticed a certain tightness in your chest when you are around a particular person, a subtle recurring sense that you must shrink your own light, perhaps dim your natural radiance, so that they can feel more comfortable? Have you caught yourself filtering your good news or downplaying a success because you intuitively know that your joy will not be met with a genuine celebration, but with a forced and fragile smile? If any of this resonates, know that it is not an accident. It is energetic feedback. What you are sensing may not yet be visible to the naked eye, but it is profoundly real. For a soul as attuned to the heart as yours, the truth is always felt in the vibration, not heard in the volume. Through the sacred lens of the tarot, the universe confirms this. The High Priestess and the Seven of Swords have emerged for you, a powerful and telling combination. The High Priestess is your mirror here. She represents your royal intuition, the queen who sits on her throne of quiet knowing. She holds the scrolls of secret knowledge, seeing what is unspoken. She is your inner sovereign incarnate. But when paired with the cunning Seven of Swords, she becomes more than a symbol of silent wisdom. She becomes a warning. The Seven of Swords reveals that someone is moving with stealth. There is a deception at play. This may not be a grand, malicious plot, but it is a theft of energy nonetheless. It is words that do not match actions. It is smiles that do not reach the eyes. It is applause that carries the vibration of envy. And no matter how polished the performance, your soul, your magnificent heart, detects the cracks in the facade. You are not crazy for noticing this. You are courageous for daring to acknowledge it. This part of your journey may feel isolating, because calling out a silent dissonance, an inauthentic performance, often means you must stand alone in your truth, at least for a little while. But as the great masters have taught you, shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. This teaching does not promise that the truth will always be comfortable. Sometimes the truth hurts before it can heal. It shatters the illusions we have built for safety, the belief that everyone in our inner circle is truly cheering for our highest good. But on the other side of that rupture, my friend, is a peace so profound it will change you. It is a real peace, the kind that does not require you to pretend or perform to be accepted, the kind of peace that allows you to stand in the full blazing glory of your light without apology. If you have been feeling the intuitive urge to withdraw, to be more selective with who gets a front row seat to your life, your heart, and your creative fire, I implore you to honor that feeling. It is not pettiness, it is preservation of your kingdom. The universe is preparing to open a grand door for you, Leo, a door to a new level of creative fulfillment and heart-centered success. But you must first ensure that what and who you carry through that threshold is in alignment with the sovereign being you are becoming, not the person you have outgrown. Not everyone can go with you, and not every connection that once felt sacred is meant to survive your next glorious evolution. Stay with this moment. Feel into it. Journal about it. Pray on it. Let your nervous system settle into the profound truth that you do not need anyone's permission to protect your peace. Your discernment is not cruelty. It is the sacred stewardship of the divine light you fought so hard to keep burning brightly. This is not just a minor shift, Leo. This is a sacred redirection. And if it feels uncomfortable right now, remember this discomfort is often the birth canal of alignment. Something magnificent is being delivered into your life, but you must first release what is blocking its path. And that magnificent soul is the sacred work of this moment. To look into the eyes of illusion and not blink, to feel the tension and not run, to hear the roar of your truth and to answer it with the quiet, unshakable strength of a true sovereign. The door is opening. Do not let anyone's shadow stand in its way. Sometimes the deepest wounds are not the ones that come from an outright declaration of war. They are the ones that are not spoken aloud, the ones that linger in the subtle, energetic exchange between people who say they support you, but whose presence feels inexplicably heavy. Leo, you have always walked this world with a quiet and generous nobility, a kind of emotional depth and heartfelt passion that most others can only ever hope to witness. You love with your whole heart, you give without expecting anything in return, and you rise to meet challenges without ever asking to be seen as a martyr. But it is precisely this resilience, this soul-deep strength and radiant light that can be profoundly unsettling to those who have not yet faced their own inner shadows. You see, when your light begins to shine more brightly, whether it is through your creative success, your personal healing, your newfound peace, or simply the joy you exude by being yourself, there will always be those who misinterpret your radiance as arrogance or worse, as a personal threat. And it is not because you have done anything wrong. It is because your evolution, without you saying a single word, calls their own stagnation into question. Your growth becomes a mirror, and in it, they see reflected all the parts of themselves they have not yet had the courage to face. This is the subtle, corrosive energy of jealousy. It is not always loud. It is not always conscious or intentional, but it is deeply, deeply disruptive to a heart as open and as trusting as yours. You might notice it in the way someone smiles with their mouth, but not with their eyes. You might feel it when your genuinely exciting news is met with a moment of silence, followed by a passive, lackluster congratulations. You might sense it when your joy is quickly followed by their withdrawal, while your moments of struggle or self-doubt suddenly become their prime opportunity to connect with you, offering concern that feels more like a desire to see you brought back down to a more manageable level. It is not obvious, and that is precisely what makes it so disorienting. That is what can make you question yourself, wondering if maybe, just maybe, you are being too much. Are you shining too brightly? Are you asking for too much simply by existing in your power? But here is the cosmic truth. I want to etch into your soul today, Leo. You are not too much. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to shine. You are allowed to celebrate your victories, to be wildly excited about your healing, and to share the glorious progress of your journey, even if others are not yet ready to match your frequency. The discomfort they feel is not your burden to carry. Their resistance to your light is not a sign that you should shrink. It is a divine sign that you are stepping more fully into your authentic alignment, and their shadow is simply being activated by the brilliance of your light. From the sacred lens of energy healing, this dynamic is a form of subtle manipulation. It is not about curses or spells, it is about vibration. When someone is operating from a space of unhealed insecurity or deep-seated envy, they may unconsciously attempt to dim the light of others simply to feel safe again in their own familiar darkness. But you, magnificent Leo, are not here to carry their unhealed wounds. You are here to transmute your own, and in doing so, to give others the powerful unspoken permission to one day face theirs. In astrology, you are ruled by the sun, the very center of our solar system. You are the alchemist of the heart, the one who turns creative sparks into blazing fires and simple affection into profound loyalty. But with this great gift comes a great lesson in boundaries. You must learn to discern not only who deserves access to your generous heart, but who has truly earned the sacred right to witness your evolution. Not everyone who claps is cheering for you, and not everyone who stays close has pure intentions. Some stay near only to monitor your progress, to measure their own lives against yours, or to subtly manipulate the rhythm of your rise. Your soul is being asked to protect itself not with high, cold walls, but with divine clarity, with choices that honor your growth, with a noble distance that honors your intuition, and with a deep inner knowing that says, I can love people from afar and still move forward in my light without an ounce of guilt. This is not about blaming others or labeling them as villains. It is about recognizing how these subtle energies impact your well-being and choosing your own peace over their performance. Emotional manipulation can often look like love. It can sound like support, but if it consistently leaves you feeling small or drained, confused, or unsure of your own worth, then it is not love. It is control disguised as care. When the ancient scriptures remind us to guard our hearts, it is not about closing ourselves off from the world. It is about protecting what is sacred. And your light, Leo, your radiant, life-giving heart, is sacred. You do not need to dim it for anyone. You simply need to keep it burning for the right reasons and in the right direction. Keep growing, keep glowing. And when the shadow of another tries to follow your footsteps, remember this: the sun does not chase away the darkness. It simply continues to shine. When your light begins to grow brighter, it doesn't just illuminate the beautiful path ahead of you, it also casts light into the dusty, forgotten corners you hadn't intended to reveal. And sometimes that includes illuminating the true intentions of the people standing closest to you. Leo, the very intensity and warmth of your emotional field has always acted like a powerful magnet, drawing in those who are searching for transformation, for clarity, for shelter in the strength of your generous heart. But what happens when the very people you have held space for, the ones you have warmed with your fire, begin to resent the stability and success you have created for yourself? What happens when your calm, confident presence, which was once a source of comfort for them, becomes an unbearable mirror to their own chaos? This is the moment when energetic self-protection becomes not a luxury, but a divine necessity. You are not here on this earth to absorb the weight of those who refuse to carry their own healing. You are not here to trade your inner peace for their fleeting approval, or to twist yourself into emotional pretzels just to be tolerated in their presence. As the universe begins clearing the field for your next magnificent chapter, it is essential that you recognize this: boundaries are not barriers. They are the golden bridges that lead you from your old self to your higher self. And building them is a profound act of self-love. Right now, the very energies surrounding you are shifting. The old dynamics that once felt familiar, perhaps even comforting in their dysfunction, no longer match the frequency of the sovereign you are becoming. You may find yourself feeling utterly drained after certain conversations. You may feel a sudden hesitation to share your wins with people you once told everything. You may become acutely and suddenly aware of how much emotional labor you have invested in people who have never once poured back into you. This is not a sign of weakness, my friend. This is the dawn of awareness. It is your nervous system finally speaking its truth. It is your intuition clearing sacred space. In astrology, Leo rules the 5th house, the realm of creative expression, romance, joy, and the heart. But within that vibrant and celebratory energy lies a lesson that many Leos must learn through pain. Just because you can light up someone's world does not mean you are obligated to become their personal sun. Your compassion does not obligate you to carry their shadow. You can witness someone's struggle without absorbing it. You can walk away from a dynamic and still hold love in your heart for the lessons it taught you. You can choose yourself and still honor the memory of a connection without sacrificing your peace in the process. Self-protection does not mean closing your magnificent heart. It means learning how to keep your heart open without letting everyone trample through its sacred chambers. It means becoming divinely discerning about who earns access to your inner world. Because, dear Leo, not everyone who asks for your light knows how to honor it. And if you continue to give it away without reflection, you risk dimming it, not because your light isn't powerful, but because it becomes diluted by distraction and depletion. Now is the time to reconnect with your internal compass. Turn down the deafening noise of others' expectations. Tune out the insidious voice of guilt that tells you you're not being available enough. Listen instead to the subtle and powerful rhythm of your own energy. Is it calm? Is it safe? Is it nourished? If the answer is no, you owe yourself the very same care you have so freely and generously given to others. Take a walk in solitude, speak less, and observe more. Write your feelings down without judgment. Move your body in ways that feel regal, grounding, and slow. Let your daily rituals become acts of returning not just to balance, but to divine clarity. Because this part of your journey isn't about dramatic confrontations. It is about a quiet and noble reclamation. It is about choosing your light fully and unapologetically, even when others wish you would stay dim to make them more comfortable. You do not need to justify your growth. You do not need to explain why you are protecting your time, your body, or your heart. You only need to honor the glorious truth that is already blooming within you. Peace is not something you stumble upon by accident, Leo. It is something you create fiercely and tenderly with every single boundary you choose to uphold. And in that peace, you will find not only safety, but a power so profound, it will change your world. The kind of power that doesn't need to dominate or defend. The kind of power that doesn't need to shout to be heard. The kind of power that knows exactly who it is and no longer apologizes for having learned how to protect its own light. When we talk about truth, especially for a Leo soul, we are not speaking of a surface-level clarity. We are speaking of a deeper unveiling, one that slices through the illusion of a performance, breaks the spell of emotional entanglement, and brings a blazing light to the very corners of your kingdom you were once too afraid to face. And yet, as intense as that may sound, this kind of truth does not arrive to hurt you. It arrives to liberate you, because you, more than any other sign, understand that the soul is never truly transformed through comfort. It is transformed through courage. And the moment you choose to stop explaining away the discomfort, to stop denying what you already feel in your bones, is the very moment the miracle begins. That is what makes this phase of your journey so incredibly powerful. You are not waiting for life to get easier. You are becoming braver. You are no longer begging for the crumbs of validation from relationships that drain your spirit. You are no longer willing to filter your authentic joy to make others feel safe in their own limitations. And that one decision, as subtle as it may seem, sends a powerful ripple through the very fabric of your reality. Because energy responds to choice. The universe is not random. It is responsive. When you turn and walk away from what is false, what is true begins to find you. This is the moment when your path begins to miraculously reorganize itself. You may notice that a conversation that once felt heavy and necessary suddenly doesn't need to happen at all. A contract or creative offer you were chasing gets replaced by one that feels effortless, aligned, and deeply respectful of your worth. A person you once held onto so tightly just slips away, but in their place comes someone who brings you peace, not performance. These are not coincidences, Leo. These are energetic confirmations, because when you release what no longer honors you, you create a sacred vacuum, a space for what was always meant for you, but simply couldn't reach you until now. In astrology, we see this as a clearing phase. When your ruling star, the sun, shines its light, it naturally burns away the fog, stripping away anything built on false promises. And the truth is, Leo, your greatest reward was never in the chase. It was always in the choice. The choice to stay grounded in your royal integrity. The choice to believe in your own worth, even when others could not mirror it back to you. The choice to honor the quiet, powerful knowing inside your heart, even when it made you feel completely alone. Those rewards, the financial breakthroughs, the deeper relationships, the aligned creative opportunities, are not the result of random luck. They are the direct byproduct of your inner clarity. They come not because the universe is randomly favoring you, but because you have finally aligned your frequency with what you have prayed for, worked toward, and most importantly, embodied. The generous, noble energy you have carried while no one was watching is finally calling in what has been prepared for you behind the cosmic veil. And still, this is not a final destination. It is a glorious unfolding. The magic doesn't arrive in a sudden explosion of fireworks. It arrives in subtle, powerful shifts. A text message that brings a wave of relief. A conversation that opens a door you thought was locked forever. A moment of profound stillness where your body finally exhales and your soul whispers, "I am safe here." This is the reward of choosing the truth, not just knowing it, but living it, embodying it, becoming someone who no longer negotiates with energies that only love you when you are small. So as you stand in this sacred space of release, remember this: your reward is not something you beg for. It is something you rise into. It is something that already belongs to you, waiting patiently behind the locked door of self-denial. And when you finally use your own key, your clarity, your courage, your quiet yes to yourself, that door doesn't just creak open. It swings wide, not to trap you in a new version of the past, but to usher you into a life shaped by truth, supported by alignment, and filled with the kind of peace that doesn't need to be proven, only lived. When you finally release what was weighing on your spirit, the connection that didn't serve the voice that made you doubt, the presence that dimmed your joy, something quiet but sacred begins to happen. Energy reorganizes itself. The field around you clears, and the universe begins to listen more intently, not to your words, but to your vibration. This is where true alignment begins, not with force, but with frequency. During this potent window, from November 1st to 3rd, the energy surrounding you will be especially sensitive to your intention, to color, to space. And even the smallest act of spiritual self-respect will ripple out in profoundly meaningful ways. Leo color is more than just aesthetics. It is vibration in visible form. It is how energy speaks when words are no longer sufficient. Wearing or surrounding yourself with certain hues during this time can gently realign your inner world and open channels of power and creativity you didn't even know were blocked. Gold, of course, is your ultimate power color. It holds the vibration of the sun itself, the energy of sovereignty, of unshakable confidence, and pure, radiant light. When you wear or visualize a brilliant, shimmering gold, you are not just inviting success, you are activating your divine right to reign over your own life. You begin to walk into a room without second-guessing your worth. You begin to speak your truth, not with aggression, but with the calm authority of a benevolent ruler. Royal purple connects you to your higher wisdom, the part of you that is the wise and noble sovereign. It is the color of insight, spiritual protection, and divine guidance. It reminds you that your intuition is your most trusted advisor. Surrounding yourself with purple helps you to cut through the noise of other people's opinions and to hear the clear, powerful voice of your own soul. And fiery orange brings you back to your creative fire, to your passion, to your heart's truest desires. This is the vibration of courage, of joyful expression, and of burning away all that is inauthentic. Orange doesn't whisper, it roars with life. It reminds you that your passion is your purpose, and you deserve to pursue it with unapologetic enthusiasm. But beyond colors, your energy is shaped by what you release and what you make room for. Sometimes we do not realize how much sacred space a single unresolved thought or toxic energetic tie can occupy in our kingdom. That is why a simple act, a royal decree, can be so powerful. Write down the name of a person or a situation whose presence drains you. Then safely burn or discard that piece of paper while repeating this declaration: I return this energy to where it belongs. I keep only my light and my peace. This is not about harm, it is about healing. It is about giving yourself permission to stop carrying what was never yours to hold. Creating space can also be literal. Clean your creative space, rearrange your bedroom, organize what has been left undone. These are not chores, they are energy rituals. As you physically reset your surroundings, you are sending a powerful signal to your subconscious that something new and brilliant is welcome now. That you are ready, that you trust what is coming will be far better than what you have outgrown. Even silence can be a ritual. Choosing not to respond to a text that feels heavy. Muting a voice online that no longer aligns with your spirit. Walking away in peace rather than engaging in a pointless battle to prove a point. That too is power. That too is protection. From November 1st to 3rd, every little step you take in honoring your energy, whether it is a color you wear, a room you reset, or a moment of silence you reclaim, acts as a golden key. A key that unlocks not just new outcomes, but a new embodiment. Because the life you want is not waiting to be found. It is waiting to be matched by the version of you who no longer feels guilty for choosing clarity over chaos. And that version of you, magnificent Leo, is emerging right now. In silence, in color, in choice, and in the sacred quiet space you have just made for something real to finally arrive. Beloved Leo, you were never meant to shrink just to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. You were meant to transform, to radiate, to rule. And sometimes that transformation begins with a revelation that shakes your emotional foundation, but only so it can be rebuilt upon something real. The truth that is about to come to light between November the 1st and 3rd may feel shocking at first, but please hear me when I say this: it is not here to harm you. It is here to free you. It is here to free you from the silent contracts that have kept you small, to free you from the relationships where your generous loyalty was weaponized against your own peace, to free you from the heavy cloak of guilt that was never yours to carry. Your intuition has been whispering, and now the universe is echoing it louder. You are not wrong for for noticing, for feeling, for stepping back, for asking for more from your life and from the people you allow into it. That discomfort you felt, it was divine preparation. Because the moment you choose to protect your light, the moment you stop explaining your worth, the blessings that are truly meant for you begin to move swiftly in your direction. Not because you chased them, but because you finally stood still in your truth long enough for them to find you. So I want to ask you now, Magnificent Leo, are you truly ready to receive what is already on its way to you? Are you ready to live like someone who trusts their own timing, their own voice, their own divine path? If your heart roars yes, then speak it into the energy of this sacred moment. Comment below, I am ready for the truth and my new freedom. I protect my energy with sacred clarity. I am ready for my divine new beginning. Because when you speak your truth, even in a comment section, you declare to the entire universe that you are no longer available for the old patterns that kept you stuck. You are aligned with your next chapter. You are already becoming the version of yourself who lives free, grounded, abundant, and deeply at peace with what was, what is, and what is gloriously to come. And before we close this sacred space together, let me say from the deepest part of my soul, thank you. Thank you for being here, for your presence, your courage, and your willingness to evolve. Every comment, every time you subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom, you are not just supporting this channel. You are anchoring your own transformation. You are planting seeds of awakening in your own life and sending ripples of golden light to others who are walking this same path. Trust that you have already done the hardest part. You have awakened to the truth. Now, Leo, it is time to claim what has always been yours. The truth, the freedom, the blessings, and the radiant, unshakable power of your light. Finally, fully and forever. Go forth and be brilliant.